What is a mulligan and how do you play? Oh, I love this question. All right, hi there, I'm Angela Brown and this is Ask a House Cleaner. This is a show where you get to ask a house cleaning question and I get to help you find an answer. Now, I belong to a private Facebook group. I'm going to leave links in the show notes below. And if you're not a member and you are a professional house cleaner, you either work for a professional house cleaning company or you own the professional house cleaning company. So you get paid in exchange for house cleaning. And it might even be that you run an Airbnb service and you do the cleaning or the turnover service. So if you are a professional house cleaner, come on over to our Facebook group where you can play the mulligan game with us. All right, here's how you play. A mulligan, the term mulligan is used in sports and it's usually referred to as a chance for you to make a play over again when you've screwed up either by your own means or someone else's. Now, in house cleaning, you did not screw up, but the screw up or the blunder is that the customer didn't hire you for all of the cleaning. They only hired you for a maintenance clean, and you only have a certain amount of time to get in and do the job and get out and go home. Now, I'm not a proponent of staying extra and spending an extra half hour or an hour giving the customer extras, okay? They paid you for a very specific job. You do the specific job, you collect your money, and you go home. But there's the chance to go the extra mile. And this is usually something small, very small, but it's usually attached to the job that you're doing, and it's not part of your regular maintenance clean. So for example, let's say that you're at a customer's house, and there are these glass panels that are on the side of the front door. Those glass panels would fall under the regular cleaning that you're going to do when you come to do maintenance cleaning at their house, because there's probably like little nose dog slobber and stuff where the dogs were peeking out the doors. Okay, so that is part of your regular cleaning. But the transom, the glass transom that goes above the door, that is not part of your regular cleaning because it requires a step stool or a step ladder that you don't normally carry with you. So what happens if one day you bring your step ladder for some reason, or the customer has one, and you stop for just a second and you clean the top of the transom, then you step outside and you clean the other side of it? What happens is this: the customer wakes up in the morning and they're coming down the stairs in the morning and they look over at the front door at that great big palladium window and they see that that transom is clean for the first time in months, and they're like, holy cow, my house cleaner cleaned the transom. So that is a mulligan. That's a chance for you to do over what you wish you could have done the first time on the maintenance clean. Now, a mulligan doesn't happen at every cleaning. You don't get to do a mulligan at every cleaning. What if you could? So if you hurry through your work and you're thorough and you do a really great job, sometimes you have just an extra minute or two on your way out the door where you can do something a little bit extra. So for example, let's say that you're cleaning and the dog has licked all of his food out of the bowl and there's like this crusty stuff stuck in the dog bowl. If you stop for just a second and you rinse it out and you scrub the bowl out and then you fill it full of clean water and you give it back to the dog, when the homeowner comes in, they're going to immediately notice that, wow, that looks so clean and shiny because it's cleaner than it was when they left, right? So it's little things like that. It's like on garbage day. You show up at the customer's house and you're walking into the customer's house. And instead of just walking in, you bring in the garbage cans that are out on the curb that are empty. Now they can't bring them in until they get home from work, but you're already there. So you just bring them in and you leave them inside the garage. It's a little something extra. Or maybe you're emptying the trash and you see that as you pull out the trash liner, there's gunk caked in the bottom of the garbage can that's already there. So you spray the inside of it, you let it dwell for a couple of minutes while you clean the rest of the bathroom, you take your brush and you scrub it out, wipe it out, and you've cleaned the inside of that garbage. Now here's what happens. It's not immediately visible because you've already gone for the day. The customer comes home and a couple of days later, they decide they're going to empty the trash. And they go and they empty the trash and they know it's icky down there. And they look down there and lo and behold, it's clean. And they get so excited. They're like, oh my goodness, my house cleaner cleaned the inside of my garbage can. So it's a little something extra. And you don't always get to do it. But it might be that the inside of the china hutch has fogged over from lack of use or just whatever. And you don't clean the china hutch. That isn't part of your normal maintenance cleaning. But one day you have a little bit of extra time. So you decide to run your sprayway and your paper towel on the inside of that glass and just remove the fog. Now when the customer comes in, they're going to see all their fancy trinkets that are in that china hutch because they're sitting there now clear as day, and they can see through that glass. And the first thing they're going to think of is, oh wow, I got a little something extra. So it's this little oh wow moment where you please and delight your customers that then they turn and they tell their neighbors, hey, wait a second, my house cleaner did a little something extra. You're not going to believe what they did today. And it's unique things. Like one day I had a customer who was having a party at her house that night. And so I decided I would step out on the front porch, and there were 2 lights, one on each side of the front door. And they were foggy and icky and had cobwebs and stuff on them. But I decided because she was going to have a party that night, they would be on when her company arrived. So I stepped outside and I was wiping those down. Again, not part of the job, not what we agreed on, not part of what I was being paid to do, but I just did it as a little bonus. The neighbor that lived across the street saw me doing it. So she comes over and she's like, what are you doing? And I thought I was going to get in trouble. I said, well, the neighbor here is having a party tonight, and I just wanted to make sure that as the guests arrived, that those lights were clean. I did not know that that friend was coming to the party that night. So that night when she comes, lo and behold, it's clean. She tells the homeowner, oh, so I saw your house cleaner out today cleaning the lights on the front of the side of your house. Then everybody at the party started talking about it. And the lady's like, oh yeah, my house cleaner does these amazing little things to surprise me. And they're like, well, my house cleaner doesn't do that. And I picked up like 5 accounts in that neighborhood. It was really, really awesome because one neighbor caught me doing a mulligan. So they're amazing. There are things that you do that get you referrals later on. You cannot pay for this kind of advertising. So a mulligan, how do you play? You jump in our Facebook group, and every Monday, we want to hear your mulligans. And we want to hear them for this reason. We want to give you a high five and go, yes, that's awesome. We want to hear how you delighted and exceeded the expectations of your customers. And we want to get tips from you, because as we're in customers' houses of our own, we might figure out that, oh, you know what? I could use that same mulligan. That's a great mulligan. Another great mulligan, for example, is watering a droopy plant. So if the droopy plant is almost dead and you give it a little bit of water and you pull off the dead pieces of the plant, when the homeowner comes home and the little plant is like, oh, hey, look at me, I'm all cute again. They're going to go, oh, wow, look, my plant came back to life. Unconsciously, yeah, they saw the droopy plant. Unconsciously, they're like, yeah, I know I need to water it. They're too busy or something happened and they didn't. But when they come back and the plant is all like, hey, yo, here I am. They're going to go, oh yeah, look, my house cleaner revived my plants. So a little goes a long way. And a mulligan should never take more than a minute or 2. I'm not talking about giving an extra hour to a client, okay? Don't stay because you're being paid for the time that you're there. But if you have a minute or 2, just a very brief moment of time to do a little something extra and go the extra mile, that's what the mulligan is all about. All right, now I want you to leave your mulligans in the notes below because we want to start a conversation here. And if you found this helpful, pass it on to a friend. And until we meet again, leave the world a cleaner place than when you found it.